everyone. So it has been about 2 weeks into January, and I have been using this budget planner that I set up and I showed you guys earlier this month. And I just wanted to do a check-in and show you how it's been working for me so far. So you might notice it'll look a little different than the original setup. I went ahead and added a fourth column. When I first showed you all, there was only 3. The reason I decided to add a fourth column was because I wanted to do this mid-month check-in with y'all. I wanted to make sure that I was on track and not trending in a direction where I would be spending too much and be running out in one of these categories. So the whole purpose of this is for me to be able to go and look in and see, okay, I budgeted $50 this month for eating out. I'm sitting at $16, almost $17 so far. So for the next 2 weeks, I should probably be okay. But then if I look at something like my miscellaneous and allowance spending, I budgeted $100, but I'm at $72 already. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to want to be mindful of my spending in this category. Otherwise, I'll be likely to go over. And if I go over, it's not the end of the world, but it means that I'll need to take from another category. And what I'll end up taking from might be something like my savings of sorts. So I might not put as much into my down payment fund or into my savings for financial coaching. And so these are like the goals that I have in mind for the future. I don't want to steal from my future essentially just so that I can go eat out more. But as it stands, looking at it, I think I'm doing okay so far. I'm actually on trend to bring home a bit more than I thought, maybe by $30 or $40. So I do have a little bit of flexibility, and that's one thing about this paper budget that makes it difficult in a way is that on the app I can go do quick changes to my budget and it's fine. Here I've already written everything in pen, and so to make changes it requires whiteout, requires deciding where I'm going to put it. So I think it might just be easier to, in a couple weeks, look at the actual column, see the plus or minus, and I think it'll give me still a good idea of how I'm doing. Even if it looks like right now I might overspend in a certain category here or there, I know that I have the ability to adjust it, even though it's not showing on this pen and paper. But yeah, so so far so good with this, and this mid-month tracking and check-in actually is helping me stay honest with myself and honest with my spending. So I'm excited. So far it's working pretty well. But the next thing that I wanted to show you guys is I actually added some things to these blank pages over here. So the first thing I did was I created a page for my balances. The top box is going to be my account balances, and these are any accounts that I have money in. So my bank accounts, I have some online savings accounts, and then I also put in my Roth IRA. And so I'm putting the starting balance, so what it was on January 1st. I will put the ending balance, so what it looks like on January 31st, and then I'll do plus or minus just to see how much it changed. And that'll help me see where I am overall with all of my accounts. And it also, again, will keep me informed and make sure that my spending and my savings are going in the right direction. I also put in a sinking funds box. And so this box lists all of my current sinking funds. Right now, you can see I'm counting my emergency fund as a sinking fund. I have my financial coach master training, my apartment move. I have miscellaneous apartment expenses, miscellaneous car expenses, auto insurance, and then a charity and gifts fund. If you look back, see at this first page, a lot of these will match up. So I'm going to do a separate video on sinking funds just to explain the purpose of them. but I decided that it would be nice to have a page in here or a little area to track them, just so that I know, again, just have an overall picture of what my accounts are looking like and where they're kept, and am I doing a good job preparing for these different events and these different savings goals. The other good thing about having this as well, especially this account balances one, is that I can also make sure that my account has enough cushion in it for the start of the month. I currently do not live paycheck to paycheck, in the sense that I'm dependent on when my paycheck comes in order to pay the bills. As you can see, I basically have about a month's worth of spending or a month's worth of expenses sitting in my saving account at the start. And so that's just like a cushion for me, so that, say I get paid, let's see. Well, this one's not a good one because I will get paid the first, but it's basically good for those moments when you have rent due, on the first, but maybe you don't get paid until later on in the week or something of that nature. Well, if you're able to have this kind of account cushion, you won't be stressed when the rent hits and you haven't gotten your paycheck. You know that you can cover it, and then once your paycheck comes in, it will replenish your account. And I mean, honestly, I act like this isn't here. I budget off of my paychecks, but again, having that cushion in my account is very nice, and it protects me against any overdrafts, any other concerns about my paycheck. So that's this balances page. I'm not sure, I have a lot of space at the bottom here. I'm not sure what I'm putting here yet. I'm thinking if I add sinking funds, that'll take up more space as the months go on, but I don't know. Give me ideas. And then last but not least, so this is the current transactions or expenses tracker that I put in here. The reason I have this here is because it is a snapshot and like an overall summary, again, of all the purchases that I'm making, and also I included an area to show me how I'm making these purchases. So in this case, for my apartment payment, my rent, my energy utility payment, those were checks. Well, electronic checks, but checks nonetheless. For one of these subscriptions I have, it's auto. And so I know it's just pull out of my account automatically, don't have to worry about it. And then for things like this, I know I made the payment for groceries and for some other random things at Target, of course. I made that with a credit card. Then I bought some cute decorations. I used PayPal. And let's see, what else do we got? This is for transfers. So when I transferred, I'm counting it as an expense out of my checking account, but it was a transfer from my checking account to my Roth IRA account. And then I also have deposits for when I get my paycheck. And so then, kind of looking at it, you see I have a date, I have the type of payment, the type of transaction that I made, I have who it was made to, I have the category, like the budget category, I have what the amount was, or if it was a deposit, what the deposit was, and then this is what my checking balance is after the transaction went through. And then this final column is going to be me verifying that, yes, I made the credit card payment, it has cleared out of my checking account, yes, my income was deposited, I don't have to worry about it, it hit my account. See down here? Yeah. And so these check boxes mean, if I wrote it in here, it means I made the scheduled payment. I put it in. So in this case, let's see here. For this Amazon, it was a credit card payment. I went online, I scheduled it, and it just hasn't been withdrawn from my checking account yet. So I'll go back and check it in a bit. I think it was supposed to hit today. And then I'll check it off and I will update what my balance is. And so I didn't update it again because I'm still waiting for some of these transactions to go through, but I will do that probably by the end of the today. So I have this paper budget. I have the every dollar budget that I do for, I guess, my monthly estimation. And then I'm also doing this exact same thing, but in an Excel spreadsheet. And this is what it kind of looks like. I am doing this spreadsheet just so that I can have an easy way to do an analysis at the end of the year. At the end of the year, my goal is to take a look, see, categorize all of these different things and see where the heck was I spending my money. Was I spending too much in one area, too much eating out? And I also kind of wanted to see specifically, like, let's see here, I wrote down here, Chick-fil-A. Am I spending too much at Chick-fil-A this year? Like, I want to be able to do that analysis at the end of the year, which is why I'm also doing this electronic copy. Now, I really don't know if it's going to be too much for me to keep up with over the year, but so far it's been working out. And it's working out because I am a nerd and I do like having all of these different resources and this record of information for me to refer to later. But if it ever does become too much to handle, I do want you guys to know if something does become overwhelming in terms of budgeting, go with simple. It does not have to be this extensive. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be any of that. At the end of the day, you just need to be spending less than you make. And because if you're spending less than you make, then you will be able to go forward on a lot of your different goals. If you're spending more than you make, then you're going to be in debt and you're going to be spinning your wheels, and that's just not a place that you want to be in. One other thing about this tracker, so I like it so far. I just think that next month I will probably add one more column. I think maybe I'll do a column that's like a description, a column that's like the actual budget line, and then the category. Because right now, so I have like a lifestyle category, but I also, that's where my miscellaneous expenses are. Same thing with like, I have a food category, then I have a sub-item or sub-line item of groceries, and I also have eating out, and I also have dates. So I might just have like the food category and then another column that says groceries category. So that's something I think I might do moving forward. And I'm also considering, like if you saw on this thing, I did color coding just to kind of test out, see what it looks like. I haven't decided yet, but I might do that in here as well, just so that I can see at a glance what my major spending categories are. I'm at the end of this page, so for the following page, I will be making another expense tracker, and I'm hoping I don't have that many expenses for the rest of the month. All my major bills have basically been paid, but if I do, I have another area for expense tracking. If I don't use that, if I only fill up this page, then I will likely use this as a budget review for the end of the month. And I'll probably write out some questions. What did my spending look like? What areas do I need to work on? What were some wins? Just an overall summary and maybe some goal setting so that I'll be ready for February. But yeah, so that is it, y'all. Let me know if you have any questions, if you had any suggestions or things that have worked for you that you think I could incorporate into my layouts, into my current spreads or current tracking. And let me know if you have any questions. If you want me to send you the Excel spreadsheet I'm working on or I'm using to track expenses, if you want me to walk you through how I set this up, I am happy to help. But that is it for now, guys. So thank you so much for watching.